Welcome back, wandering neuron. You have drifted once more into the quiet space between thoughts, where science hums like a distant star and philosophy whispers from behind the clouds. Tonight we travel to a world that glows with deceptive beauty, a world so close and yet so secretive that even our most curious machines have only glimpsed it through a veil of endless storms. This is Venus, the mysterious second planet from the Sun, the sister of Earth, the mirror that refuses to reflect. Close your eyes if you wish. Imagine drifting beyond the blue skies of home, past the orbit of Mercury, into a place where sunlight thickens like honey, and every breath of wind is a storm of fire. Venus waits, hidden behind her luminous clouds, a world both radiant and ruinous, a paradox of beauty and destruction, love and suffocation. And tonight we descend. Venus has long been called the morning star, the evening star, the celestial twin of Earth. But her light is a disguise, a mask of brilliance concealing a world of storms. Her clouds are made not of water, but of acid, sulfuric and heavy, reflecting sunlight like polished marble. From a distance, she appears calm, glowing softly in the twilight. But beneath that elegance, the air thickens with poison and pressure, strong enough to crush steel. For centuries, even the finest telescopes could not pierce her veil. Astronomers imagined oceans, jungles, maybe even life. They saw her brightness and dreamed she might be a paradise. But when the first probes arrived, Venera, Pioneer, Magellan, they found a furnace instead. Temperatures that melt lead, winds that circle the planet at hurricane speed, a surface painted in volcanic stone and silence. Yet somehow she still captivates us, because there is something strangely human about beauty that hides its truth. Venus is often called our twin, almost the same size, the same density, born from the same cosmic dust that formed Earth herself. But somewhere in their infancy, their fates diverged. Earth learned balance, oceans, air, a temperate rhythm of life. Venus instead spiraled into fever. Her atmosphere thickened with carbon dioxide, trapping sunlight until the ground boiled endlessly beneath it. No breeze could cool her. No rain could fall, only acid mist. She became the story of what happens when warmth forgets to rest. And perhaps that is her message to us. Not merely a planet of science, but a reflection of our own fragile balance. The beauty of life depends on restraint. Too much of anything, even warmth, becomes unbearable. Venus does not spin like the others. Her rhythm defies expectation. A single day on Venus lasts longer than an entire Venusian year. Imagine that. The sun rising so slowly that it takes months to climb the horizon, and by the time it finally sets, a full year has already passed. Her rotation is retrograde. She turns backward, opposite to the direction of most planets. As if, in her loneliness, she decided to dance against the cosmic current. Scientists believe this strange motion may be the scar of an ancient collision, a massive impact that twisted her spin, a celestial memory frozen in motion. But perhaps there's something more to it, something metaphorical, that beauty often resists conformity, and that not all revolutions must follow the same rhythm. Venus moves in her own time, slow, deliberate, disobedient. And in that defiance, there's a quiet sort of grace. To breathe on Venus is to breathe flame. Her atmosphere is almost pure carbon dioxide, dense and heavy, 90 times the pressure of Earth. Step onto her surface and it would feel like standing beneath the weight of an ocean. The air shimmers at 465 degrees Celsius, hot enough to melt zinc and lead. Lightning flashes through her clouds, but it never brings rain. Only illumination for a world that cannot cool. It is a lesson in extremes, how creation and destruction can exist side by side. And yet, above those infernal skies, something unexpected happens. About 50 kilometers high, in the upper cloud layers, the temperature softens, the pressure gentles. It becomes almost Earth-like. Some scientists wonder if, one day, human colonies might float there. Not standing on the ground, but drifting in the clouds, like thoughts suspended in a dream. A quiet city of golden balloons, glistening under the filtered sun, watching the storms below, a vision that feels almost poetic, as if humanity could finally learn to live among the metaphors it once wrote about. Venus breathes fire, not through storms alone, but through her skin. Her surface is carved by volcanoes, thousands of them, sprawling across plains of basalt and fractured stone. For a long time, we thought they were extinct, ghosts of a fiery past. But radar scans from orbit whisper otherwise. Some of them may still be alive, quietly exhaling heat, reshaping the surface in secret. Volcanoes are storytellers of a planet's soul. On Earth, they remind us that beneath our calm, there is always movement. On Venus, they speak of a trapped power, a world unable to release her fury gently. It's as if the planet herself is trying to exhale, but the air is too thick to let go. So she holds it all in, the tension, the heat, the fire, until the ground itself becomes her breath. The winds on Venus never rest. They circle the planet with relentless speed, up to 360 kilometers per hour, faster than any hurricane on Earth. Yet if you stood there, you wouldn't feel the rush. The air is too thick, too dense. The sound is swallowed before it can be heard. Imagine a storm so immense that it forgets how to make noise. That is Venus, a world of roaring silence. The clouds swirl endlessly from east to west, a phenomenon called superrotation. It takes the atmosphere only 4 days to encircle the entire planet, while the ground below turns ever so slowly in the opposite direction. 2 layers of time, 2 realities spinning in disagreement. It's like a metaphor for the mind, how thoughts can race while the soul remains still, or how appearances can move wildly while the truth beneath barely turns at all. Long before telescopes, long before space probes, Venus was a goddess. To the Romans, she was Venus, the embodiment of love, beauty, and desire. To the Greeks, she was Aphrodite. The Mayans saw her as Kukulkan, the feathered serpent that heralded war. The Babylonians called her Ishtar, the morning and evening star, both nurturer and destroyer. Across cultures, Venus was both creation and chaos, a celestial paradox glowing above the horizon. And perhaps unknowingly, they sensed her truth. A planet radiant on the outside, but turbulent within. A beauty born from violence, a mirror of the human heart. When we named her after love, we may have understood something deeper than science. That love, too, is not always gentle. It burns, it blinds, it consumes as much as it creates. Venus, the goddess of love, became Venus, the planet of fire. Myth turned to matter, and yet the myth never really left. Every dawn and dusk, Earth sees Venus shimmer near the sun, the bright star that never quite joins the night. But that glow is deception. Venus is bright not because she burns, but because she reflects. Her clouds, thick with acid, mirror the sunlight with perfect cruelty. She shines, not with her own light, but with borrowed radiance. And somehow that makes her even more human. How often do we too reflect borrowed light? How often do we wear brightness to hide the storms within? Venus teaches us something rare, that luminosity can exist alongside despair, that the most radiant things may not always be the warmest. She is not evil nor tragic. She simply is. A truth glowing beneath illusion. A reminder that mystery and reality can coexist in the same breath.
Then she fell silent again, as if the planet had closed her eyes. But humanity does not easily give up on beauty. We continue to dream of floating habitats, cities above the clouds, where sunlight glows amber and the ground below lies hidden forever. It's not just the curiosity of science, it's the pull of poetry, because deep down, we long to touch what we are told we cannot reach. Venus is that unreachable beauty. She tempts us, teaches us, and reminds us that not all journeys end with arrival. Some simply continue, inward. There is a strange peace in the violence of Venus. Her storms, endless and unbroken, create a rhythm, a pulse, that, when listened to deeply, feels almost meditative. Perhaps every chaos has its own serenity if one only stops fighting it. In her unchanging skies, there is the lesson of surrender, that not everything must evolve toward calm. Some things are meant to remain wild. Venus is the mirror of balance lost. She shows what happens when warmth turns to fever, when beauty burns itself into isolation. But she also holds a certain grace, for even in destruction, she shines. She reminds us that brilliance can coexist with brokenness, and that the cosmos is not moral, only magnificent. The winds still blow. The clouds still shimmer. The planet still turns, slowly, backward, an ancient rhythm that refuses to fade. And somewhere in that eternal cycle, we can sense something sacred, the stillness that exists inside even the fiercest storm. When we look at Venus through a telescope, we are not seeing her as she is. We are seeing light filtered through mystery. Every photon that reaches us has fought its way through her dense atmosphere, scattered and reshaped until even truth becomes soft-edged. In that way, Venus is the perfect metaphor for perception itself. What we see is never the thing, only the light reflected from it, the illusion shaped by distance. Perhaps that is why she fascinates us so deeply. She is a cosmic mirror of our own limitations, a reminder that even in the age of data and machines, there will always remain something unseen, something unknowable, something beautifully hidden. Venus teaches us humility, that knowledge does not erase mystery, it only deepens it. The more we uncover, the more we realize how little we truly understand. They say Venus is the planet of love, but her kind of love is not soft. It is fierce, consuming, absolute. She is what happens when affection forgets its balance, when warmth overwhelms reason. Her beauty hides her suffering, and her light hides her fire. Yet isn't that the nature of love itself? To glow even when it burns, to illuminate even when it blinds. In mythology, Venus was both lover and destroyer, gentle and merciless, a goddess who blessed and broke hearts alike. And maybe that is the universe's quiet truth, that love and chaos are not opposites, but companions. Venus is love uncontained, a symbol of passion turned to storm, and in her we see the reflection of our own human heart, brilliant, unpredictable, forever seeking warmth, even at the edge of ruin. And now, wandering Neuron, our journey through the hidden world draws to a close. We have drifted through acid clouds and golden storms. We have seen beauty clothed in fire, and we have learned that even the brightest light may hide its own darkness. Venus, the mysterious second planet from the Sun, is more than a world. She is an idea, a reminder that the universe does not divide itself neatly into good and bad, calm and chaos, truth and illusion. Everything exists together, just as light and shadow share the same shape. So, as you rest your thoughts tonight, remember her glowing curve in the twilight sky, the morning star, the evening star, the eternal enigma. You are part of that same mystery, made of the same atoms, carried by the same light.
This is the Wandering Neuron, thanking you for drifting through the cosmos with me. Until the next journey, rest gently and keep wondering.